Hello everybody and welcome, I'm Son of Mogaf. I'm playing Species again today. I'm going to continue with my Evolve or Die series. A little bit of a change of plan. One of my friends came up with a suggestion that I thought was actually really good. The original plan was to take the creatures from the last island, which was just scorched with like unbelievable amounts of heat, and import them into a new island and then slowly reduce the fertility with this button here. So the food became less and less and less. What I'm going to do instead is follow the suggestion that my friend gave me. And instead of slowly increasing the temperature, I'm slowly going to decrease the temperature. The idea is that it has a similar effect. If I reduce the fertility, the food will slowly disappear, where reducing the temperature also makes the food disappear, so it won't be that different. And I'm kind of interested in seeing how they will survive in a cold world, see if they can survive better or worse than in, you know, one that's just red hot essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and import the creature we had before, which I've just called Evolve or Die temperature creature. That's weird to say. 110 is fine. So I'm just going to import those. Where shall I put them? They're used to living by the ocean, so I'll put them by the ocean, somewhere kind of a little bit nice. I think here. And I'll press play, and just I'm not even sure if they're going to be able to survive like on their own anymore, you know. The population is already beginning to drop. And for those of you that haven't been paying attention to the last videos, what I tend to do is I'll adjust the world with these buttons when this number hits the cap, which I think I've got it set at 2. I was just about to say 2,000. They're all dead. What happened? I mean, I wasn't sure that they were going to survive, but I thought they would live longer than that. They were mostly oceanic. Maybe I should put them in the water. I'll put them maybe here. Let's try that again, shall we? With a there in my voice. I'll put them there, I guess. In the hope that they will survive long enough that I can change their environment. That was weird. I'm not sure. What was I saying? Yes, I'm gonna... When this number hits the creature cap, I shall adjust the environment a little bit. Or when they reach 50 generations. And since I've just imported them, they should be currently on like generation 1. I'm kind of interested now to see if they'll survive at all. They do seem to be going on land like in a mass group. They're all like, oxygen! Oxygen! Okay, I just need to wait for them to start breeding, essentially. That's interesting. They're going for the water when they need oxygen. Did they become gill breathers at some point and I just missed it? No, they are anaerobic. They should be able to breathe in the air. We've actually lost quite a lot. It's gone down to 93. I just need them to breed. Please? Please? Oh god, their numbers are dropping. Maybe I can speed it up a little bit? Oh god. Oh, please breed. Please live. Otherwise this video is just going to be a bust right from the beginning. That's quite interesting, really, because they were surviving really harsh environments previously, and this one, not really that harsh. Oh my god, did you see that? Holy hell, they had a lot of babies. My god. Okay, so I'll put it on full speed and just see if See what happens. Either they're going to reach the creature cap, or they're going to become extinct. They are not surviving particularly well. Oh yeah, this is much better. Oh my god, look at that population growth. My goodness, they turned that around quickly. Yeah, they love to have a swim, don't they? Look at them. That's really quite spectacular. There we go, we hit the creature cap finally. So what I'll do is I'll drop it from 20 degrees to 15.6. That's actually quite a steep drop. That's like 5 degrees. And I'll just leave it for a little while. The population is trying to grow, but it can't because there's a cap on how many creatures you can have in a world. They really do like to swim around in the ocean. I think that's from one of the previous videos I did where I just tried to drown them all. I essentially tried to make them go from being mammals to being fish by slowly increasing the water levels. And it's made them very well adapted to the ocean. Although there are a lot on land over here. Look at them. They're just scouring the landscape. The fertility is at 1. I might increase that. Just so they've got, you know, food. I might as well decrease the temperature again. It's down to 11.2. The thing is, like, they can't breed when the creature cap has been reached, and if you can't breed then you can't evolve, and that's the whole point of this series, is to make them evolve or die. I want to take a thing in one environment and put them in a new environment and just make it the worst environment possible. So I don't know how many videos I'm going to do on reducing the temperature. It'll be between 1 and 3. And depending on how that goes, I'll then move to messing with the fertility of the, you know, the land fertility. By then, I'm hoping the update will be out. The dev is really good at keeping, like, the lines of communication open. And the result is that people know what's coming and roughly when to expect it. I'm not sure exactly how far off the new update is, but apparently not only will it add a mechanic for seasons where you can change, well, literally it has seasons. The world will have seasons, but you can control how those seasons work. Like, you can have like dry, cold winters, or and subsequently, you know, hot, wet summers, so it's like the tropics versus the Antarctic. Or you can have it round the other way. You can have hot, dry summers, something like the Sahara Desert, and cold, wet winters like, I don't know, Britain. Which is really interesting, but you can also, apparently, mess with the oxygen levels and the gravity. I'm really interested in seeing what kind of creature we end up with when you increase gravity like 1,000-fold or something. I was having this conversation the other day with Devil Princess, you know, on the text messaging, where I was saying, can you imagine waking up one morning and finding that the gravity is 100 times stronger today than it was yesterday? Like, would you even be able to get out of bed without dying? I don't know, probably not, but luckily this is a simulation. We are still at the creature cap while I've been waffling away, so I'm going to decrease the temperature. Oh, it went from 11 point something to 6.8. That's significant. You can already see the world starting to pale. There's a bit of frozen water over here. Can't see frozen water anywhere else, but it's really not hindering them that much. This particular creature is very resistant to temperature. Like, if I just do this, it does say ignores temperature, but all that really means is that they're comfortable migrating. They'll move from one environment to another environment in search for food without worrying about the temperature of the new environment. It doesn't really increase their chances of survival in super cold or super hot environments. Let me put it back on full speed. I'm actually surprised. We're getting some mutations, but they're not living very long, which doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. There's a lot of them on land now. They were mostly in the water previously. I don't see any in the water anymore. Probably because it's too cold in there for them to live. The ones that go in the water just end up freezing to death. I like the way that patch of this patch of biome is called Warm Sea and is at 10 degrees Celsius, which isn't really very warm. I think I'm just going to reduce the temperature again. We started off at what, about 20, and we're already down to about 2.5 degrees Celsius. That's pretty bloody cold. And they don't really seem to care that much. I'm shocked that this hasn't caused a mass extinction event. And we are getting like a lot of mutations. Like we were up to 4 species. Now we're down to 2 again. I'm not sure what that white flash was. That was a bit concerning. Also, the frame rate is not great. We're at the creature cat. It's not a well-optimized game. It is in early access, so I don't blame it that much. Like the nursery here, surrounded by ice. I'm absolutely astounded by this. I guess I'm just going to... I mean, look, some of these areas are like -1 degrees in some places. Like, the ocean is pretty damn cold. The grasslands and everything is still fairly hot up here. Hot desert at 20 degrees Celsius. That's not very hot, not especially for a desert. But it's sort of hovering on that cap. So I'm just going to put the temperature down again. -2. That's a big difference. So it has dropped below the cap. Finally. When they hit a period of intense breeding, I wonder if this will go back up to hit the cap. Because once again, as I've mentioned, I either wait for the population to hit the cap or wait for them to go... I think I said 50 generations before. I've been doing it 25, to be fair. Unless the population rate is very, very low, I just want to give them enough time to adapt to the new environment as best as possible. Like they can get furry or whatever it is that helps them live. Anything that helps them to not die, essentially, is something that I'm waiting for. So, yeah, we're not at the population cap. Let me just check on where they are. Oh, God. Why is it so, like, bizarrely bent over backwards? I'm desperately trying not to click, because when you click, this goes away, like that. Let's select a bunch of them. They are at generation 26, so what I'll do is I'll let it run for a little while, and I'll bring you guys back when we're at generation 50 or so. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, well, this is where we found ourselves. It's been roughly 25 generations, and our guy's gone through some changes. He's got these gigantic arms, and its head is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But we've also got a few emergent species. I want to go and have a look at those before I do anything. Look at all these extinctions, look. Tons of them. The population has been hovering around 1,000, so it's not too bad. Have a look. We got these guys. This thing is like a literal alien. Look at it. I don't even know how to describe a lot of these things. What is this? Are these breasts? They're legs, but their position makes it look like they've got legs growing out of their breasts. We've got you. who's bent over backwards to the point where it needs like a giraffe neck, but look how thin it is. There's only one of them, it's probably not going to live for very long. Again, this guy is very bent over backwards. He actually has some decent legs. Some, what I would consider functional legs. This thing looks a little vampire-esque. Again, it's this weird thin neck because it's bent over to the point where it can't see. Got these little fangs. I think they're actually horns. Yeah, they are. They're little curved horns. They look like fangs. Big derpy eyes. Now, here's the one we started with. This is what it's evolved into. What do you even say about this? It's insanity. Still aerobic breathers, and they're becoming more and more herbivorous, which is interesting. Makes me wonder if, when I do the thing where I lower the fertility of the land, if they'll become more carnivorous to, try and find food. But let's make it colder. We're going from -2 to -6.4. That's another big jump. Speed it up. Let's see if it causes a mass extinction. I couldn't really see how it couldn't, although they are breeding pretty well still somehow, just in spite of me at this point. But the oceans are starting to freeze. You know that there's something wrong with the environment when the oceans, like all this up here, they are freezing over with increasing velocity. Look at this. This is like an ice cap at this point. I think they swim underneath it anyway. It's just to indicate cold water, but got a bunch of guys that have like broken off to come and live over here. Like a little isolated environment away from the others. It's so interesting to watch them run around, but I can't do it forever. These videos always end up running quite a long time. They take like 2 hours to film, and they tend to be like half hour, 45 minutes in length, as a video, and I don't like to keep them shorter than that if I can. Look at, they're still really doing well at survival. We've actually got more species now than we had before. But again, most of those will become extinct as time goes on. It's interesting, like when the amount of species increases, it means they have to compete for food, which causes the population on both, in all the species to drop unless they're in an isolated area like this. And when it goes back down to 1, they actually do really well because they can just eat the food. They don't have to compete for it. I'm talking about a population level event, not an individual level, by the way. That's how evolution works. So many people have such weird ideas about how evolution works. Not about the individual. The individual, when it comes to evolution, is largely irrelevant. You're talking about the population over a period of time. It's actually still quite warm up here, I've noticed, by the way. Like, still fairly verdant up here, and we do have little patches of trees. I got distracted from what I was saying, but I guess I'm going to have to do another time skip. Let's see how these guys are doing. This is the guy that I've been following. He's up to 56, so I'll do another time skip. I'll bring you back when he's like at maybe 75, that region. And we'll see if any of these extra species have continued to live. I suspect most of them will go extinct and be replaced by other ones, which will then go extinct. But I kind of want to see how this guy goes. Its arms keep changing. It kind of freaks me out when it does that, when it changes the entire appearance of a thing while you're looking at it. It's kind of weird and creepy. But yes, anyway, we're almost at generation 60, so it's not going to be a huge skip. I'll bring you back when, it's time. Right, it's time to come back and see how things are going. It's been interesting to watch. This is one of those weird games where you can have an interesting time just watching these numbers up here. Is this overall population number? This dropped quite a lot. It was hovering around like the 400-500 mark, going up and down a little bit. But then something happened. I don't know what it was, and I'm not going to pretend that I know what it was, that changed everything. And my suspicion is that our creature here that we've been following significantly, like, it mutated or adapted, or it had a variation or something that increased significantly its chances of survival, because the population leapt. It just skyrocketed. Just all of a sudden, just boom, there was tons of these things all over the place. And that's what I think happened. Let me check out the clade diagram to see how... I mean, look at all this death. Look at it. There's so much death. So we've got 4 of these, which are almost identical to these. They're a little bit smaller or a little bit larger. They're different sizes, but the vast majority of creatures in this world are the one we've started with, who's kind of adapted to do this praying mantis thing, and he just peeps his little eyeball out. Like there, just between his arms, so he can see where he's going. He's almost entirely lost its legs, although its posture is a little uncomfortable. I mean, how strong does your spine have to be to walk around like this? I do not know, because I spend my entire life sat on my great big bum. Let's... Not that I said that. Let's reduce the temperature. So we're at minus 6.4. That's uncomfortably cold. Down to 10.8? Whoosh! I mean, whoosh! That's rough, dude. Oh my god. There we go. We've had... Oh! Did our guy go extinct? Wait a minute. Was this not the guy that we were following? Oh, it looks like the same one. What was that guy called? I think I was mistaken, actually. It looks like the guy that we've been following survived, and the mutated variant of it is the one that died. I may have said that wrong. I'm not sure. Oh my god. Oh my god. These guys are not going to live for very long. That's the interesting thing, really, about playing with the environmental... I want to call them sliders, but tickers or gauges or whatever you want to call them. Because it reaches a point where the environment just can't sustain life. It doesn't really matter how long you give the creatures, you know, how much chance you give the creatures for adaptation and mutation and mutation. Goddamn, mutation. Well, evolution. You know, you can give them all the time in the world to evolve to the environment. If the environment doesn't sustain life, then there's not going to be any life in the environment. It gets to a point where it kind of tips the scale to going from, you know, a harsh environment to a deadly environment. But I still find it really interesting. I really do love these evolutionary simulators. Look at these guys scurrying about. Live! We want to live! Please! Stop messing with the temperature! You are a harsh and vengeful god. Call the ice. Oh, we've still got these guys over here. Huh. Interesting. This guy's... Oh, that guy... I was about to say, that guy braved the waters, and... How are they even living? Like, where are you even going, dude? You're dead. Wait, is he dead? He's not dead. I mean, he is dead now, but he also bred. He had babies out in the water there somewhere. These guys are absolutely bizarre to look at. I mean, what? Look at them! Their eyes have evolved to be bigger than their arms, and their arms are freaking so massive that it's overtaking their head. Stupid. It's absolutely bloody stupid. Oh dear. I shouldn't find this as funny. Let's just look at the ice. You look at the ice and the snow and the death, and they're somehow surviving in it. I don't even get how they manage that. I would freeze to death in moments. Although I am one of those weird people that prefer the cold over the heat. I'm one of those people that complain all summer that it's too hot and then just lapse into a state of comfort during the winter because I hate the heat. I really do. Yeah, you go. You learned something about Son of Mogeth, along with the fact that you can't stop just waffling on about nonsense. So I guess I'm going to do another time skip. I'll let this go up to, say, 100. Since I've been talking for 5 or so generations. And I'll drop the temperature even more. We'll just see how it goes. They live quite well currently. Back once again. Here we are. There's actually a little bit of... Well, we've... The change in the amount of species. There's been a lot less death, but there's also been a lot less like mutation. If you look at the tree like up here, you zoom out a little bit. You look at this. Look, this is a lot of death. This is a lot of mutation and an adaptation that isn't surviving. It's like an evolutionary dead end, like here and here. But you look at this bit. There's hardly any going on now, and when they do survive. Well, like, do mutate, they don't really survive for very long. Like this 45 of whatever this thing has turned into. My God. Are they arms or legs? I'm a little bit confused as to how this creature works. I think these are legs? Maybe a tail? And these are arms. They've like inverted arms compared to this. Oh God, don't do that. Oh, the size of his damn eyes now. That's so weird. Alright, so this one puts the other one to shame. You look at him and you go, oh my God, he's got gigantic eyes. Then you look at this one, you're like, it's 90% eyeballs. Look at the... why are they rotated weird? That's what I want to know. What happened here? The eyeball. I don't think it makes that much difference in humans. If your eyeball was upside down, you wouldn't even know, but is that the same for eyes that are like this? I don't know. I'm not even sure how you would Google that. Can a creature have upside down eyeballs or something? I don't know. It is time to make things colder. I'm gonna speed it up. I'm also gonna save it. I haven't been doing that. Oh, for the love of God, what is all of this? Oh, that's our previous one. I can just save it there. Right, let's drop the temperature from 10 to 15. Minus 15. You see everything slowly getting whiter, look. The snow is coming up onto the land and the death with it. Well, this area hasn't frozen over yet. I mean, it's icy by the look of it. It's cool sea. At minus 5 degrees, it's a cool sea. A tad of an understatement, isn't it? How are you guys doing over here? You guys are rocking the place, aren't you? Look at you. You're doing fantastically. I'm shocked there's anything still alive. I know we're like down to the last 500 or so, but they breed in such massive numbers that the population recovers really, really quickly and really easily. I think we've started to get to the point where that I was talking about before, like the break point where no amount of evolution is going to save them. And in the next couple of clicks of this, I think they're just going to be dead. Like, by the time it goes from minus 15 to, say, minus 20, I think that's them doomed. I really do. But what I'll do is the same thing I did previously. I'll take the last surviving species and save it. And then I'll put it into a new world. And like I say, I might do the fertility thing. I might faff about with the water. Not sure what I'm going to do next. If you've got suggestions, put them down in the comments section. I'm always open to suggestions. Cannot always guarantee that I'll be able to deploy those suggestions, but I am always open to them. Oh dear. Let's have a look. Let's just have a look. Oh, this is a major species now. This is the dominant species. Again, 90% of the things that are alive are this thing. It's almost lost its arms now. Its eyeballs are now in its armpits rather than attached to its face, but I don't know if that looks better or worse. It's still really quite bizarre. And it's just occurred to me as well, I'm not sure, is it this one was the one that we started with? The one that we were originally looking at? It was, I think it was in fact this one. I've lost it. I'm not even sure anymore. They've become so unrecognisable. I'm not sure why I did that. Let's click him and have a look to see what kind of creature he is. Definitely a herbivore. His diet is down to -1. He's oily and furred and hot-blooded in this environment. Damn. The optimal internal temperature is 21.1 degrees, which is probably why it's developed fur. But I mean, most of the temperature around here is like, it's in the top left-hand corner if you can't see it. Like -8. What is this? -8. What was that bit? -12. What's it like? What's it like up here? -5. Yeah, it's pretty freaking cold. -20 over here. He's got pathetic health, minimal energy. It's a decent walker and with low stamina. It's a bit of a slow swimmer with minimal swimming stamina. It's dangerous, apparently, to attack damage. This will be interesting, I think, when I do a thing where I reduce the fertility. So, my opinion is that it will encourage them to be carnivorous. And if they can kill things quickly, then they can find food quickly. What have we got? Gluttonous, narcoleptic, aggressive. Oh, they've lost the ignores temperature trait. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I don't know. I honestly don't know. How long have I been recording? 1 hour and 20 minutes. I guess, yeah, I'll do one more time skip. When this is up to, say, what was it, 125? And I'll bring you guys back and I'll reduce the temperature. We'll see what effect it has on the overall population, which has actually quite recovered well. These things are pretty damn sturdy. And then I'll, after that, I'll have to call it a day. I can't record all the time. I've not had lunch yet either, and it's like 4:30, and I've not even had lunch. But yeah, I'll do another time skip, and see you soon. All right, well, I'm back again. I let it run over the intended time just a little bit. I was busting for the loo. I might as well go now, and yeah, you guys don't need the details, but yeah. They've had a little bit more time to adapt. We do have 2 species available. Oh dear. Oh, there's like quite a lot going on at this section. None of them lived, but we got him. There's only 2 of those, so they're not going to survive. Over 1,000 of these? They're doing so well. I'm so proud. What is that on the back of your head? Is that an eyeball? It's just awful looking at these things. They're hideous. Alright, let's go from minus 15 to minus 19. Still pretty steep. God, I've been recording nearly 2 hours at this point. I'm going to have to call it quits pretty soon. I like the way they've all... Oh no, I was going to say they've all moved away from the shores to the warmer middle parts of like the island, but there are a bunch of them over here. Look at this, look at this. It was over 1,000 like 2 seconds ago. Now it's less than 500. These guys are pretty much stranded on this island at this point, aren't they? They are not going to be able to survive crossing an ice sheet. There was a little bit of breeding going on then. Do you see that tiny little green arrow? Oh God, you know what I also didn't do? I didn't save it. Oh, that was a dumb thing to do. I got excited by the prospect that I have food. It's amazing. One of my friends just volunteered to go and get food for me, and now I have food. And apart from the pizza that I had last week, I've been surviving entirely on pasta and porridge. And I've been making the porridge with water instead of milk, which is how normally it's made. I actually don't mind it with water. It's not great to keep your calorie count where it should be, you know? Neither is pasta, especially when you've got very little to go with it, some frozen veg. But I feel like veg goes better with rice than with pasta. Maybe it's just me. So I have food now. I've got like fruits and nuts, and I've got me coconut water, keep my potassium up, and I've got rice and pasta and veg and all sorts of things. Bread. Oh my God, I've got bread. I never thought I'd see bread again in my whole life. Alright, that's an exaggeration, but it's not necessarily true, but you get where I'm coming from. Having said that, I think I might actually go and eat some of my food now. These guys are surviving so well. It's getting a little bit rough on them, but there's still quite a lot left. At minus 20, essentially. It's 19.6. You might as well round it up to 20. I guess I'll be doing a second video on the gold. Look at this bit here, look. And they are, like, out there trying to live. So that's interesting. Save it, son of Mogeth. Save it for the... Please. There we go. What was I saying? So yes, I'm going to leave that as an episode of Species, Artificial Life Re-Evolution. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying this. Some people will hate this series or this game, and other people will love it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. So if you are one of those people that love it, like and subscribe. I'm a small channel, and it's really hard to get noticed. So even when just one person subscribes, it just helps me get, you know, noticed a little bit more. Not that I'm not grateful for the subscribers I've got. I honestly never thought that I'd have any subscribers other than, like, friends and family. Turns out, you know, people like the stuff that I do. Weird to me, but I'm very, very thankful for it. So, yeah, just thanks to everybody that does the liking, that subscribes, that throws their comments up in the comments section, which is always great to see. I'm a bit rubbish at replying to them, but that's a me problem, not a you problem. So there's all that stuff going on. And if you want to share my videos on your social media, that would be freaking awesome cake. Literally, a cake that is awesome, you will be it. I normally threaten people at the end of my videos. I'm just going to say, if you do, you'll be an awesome cake. And I'll do my best not to devour you. So, Yeah, I'm Son of Mogeth. I'll be seeing you soon. I normally take Thursdays off, but I keep planning videos for like Thursdays and weekends and not really being able to get them together. But it'll probably be Friday. I'll see you now for Raft, because Raft is on Fridays. So yeah, I'll see you then, if not sooner.